Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in learning a little bit more of this amazing language. And yesterday we did a little bit deep dive without going to character level, but just the whole sense of imagery, the sense of like rhyming at the end of the poem to depict the homesickness, or we call it the melancholy during the fall season. So seasonal melancholy, I would say, but the poem came with a context of this ancient Silk Road. It passed its peak time, and then the author was away from home, which was a contrast in the environment. His home got this 小桥流水, which was what we talked about the episode before, about this little bridge and running water, this waterfront living, right? Forms a contrast of this ancient trade road that's kind of next to a desert, and it's dry, it's not comfortable, and long time traveling, the skinny horse is companion, and then how the guts were broken into pieces. That's how sick this person is regarding homesick. Okay, so today we're going to continue. We're going to highlight that tradition in Chinese poetry, which is this melancholy. And we have an expression defining exactly that. We call it 伤春悲秋. So this poetic sensitivity about, depicting how sad you are in every season. And even if we only use 春 and 秋, that's the major seasons of change, right? If we see the seasons as a sine curve, summer is the peak and winter is the bottom. The changing time, the spring and the fall, are this uphill or downhill. So that's when things are changing. So oftentimes in Chinese, we all only use 春 and 秋 to refer to seasonal change or annual change year over year, the passing of time, that sense of going uphill and then downhill, things are getting warmer and then getting colder, that kind of, when change are happening, poets start to feel, sorrow. And then here we have 伤 and 悲, two different kinds of sorrow. And today we are going to go into each one of them. 伤. The left side, I hope by now you recognize that's the human figure, generic human figure in ancient Chinese rendering. We always write like one side is a little bit over, and the contemporary looks like this, but the ancient way looks like this. And 伤, the right sound, right side is a sound maker, but it does come with some embedded meaning attached to that image. So the bottom, it looks kind of like a wind, right? Some bird wind. It also looks like the side view of a lying down animal with 4 legs. So animal one lying down 4 legs like that, a kind of imagery related to death. And then the top, we have this chimney or the hatware, the kind of cone-shaped hat. And then the sun. This is our sun symbol captured in the middle. And so we have the sun under the roof, right? Or the hat. And then we have some dead animal up there. That was one paired with some other symbol on the left side, which is like a bad fortune sign. So something bad happened, and paired with this side together, that means a type of premature death. And in Chinese, we have premature death clearly classified into like 4 different groups, like from, I forgot, I cannot recite it. So something up to 19. Everything below 19 years old was considered a premature death. And we have a word for that called 伤, exact the same pronunciation, except switch out the left person symbol to some bad luck symbol, which is die, so something really bad happened, and the right side means some injury, some death, some immobility. And over here, honestly, I couldn't explain why it looks like that, with a hat, with the sun under the hat. The sun was covered, so that's something bad. I don't know, but this premature death now switch out the bad luck sign to this person sign, still carry over that, you know, this physical hurt. I call it a physical hurt. So this in contemporary Chinese means physically hurt. Like 受伤 means you incurred or endured hurt, and it's more physical hurt. Like at least the starting point is physical hurt. You can get emotional about it, but it's optional. But starting point is physical hurt, and that came from this premature death. Okay, let's do the debate because that's a slightly different kind of sad. Even if I translate it as sad spring, sad autumn, the sad on this, today I get a little bit creative. The top portion is a mirror image of fate. It's some scholars said it's a two mirror image of it almost looks like this, right? Wait, does it look like? Oh, there are three, so not two. Kind of. Okay. Yes, it looks like this, right? If you look at the structure of that top portion, it's a negation. I don't know why mirror image is used to mean negation, but it's like on the one hand, but then you look at the opposite hand, which is the negation of the one hand. I don't know, but the top portion is our negation. The bottom is our old friend heart symbol. So whenever we have some emo characters comes in, this heart was embedded somewhere. So this is something related to emotional processing. And I interpret it as we have this cavity and the three tubes coming out of it. So it's an anatomy of heart. So, okay, heart, negation, why it's sad. Here's my light bulb moment. This kind of sad comes from your realization of what you believed in or what you expected it should be, turned out to be the negation. So it's basically reality is telling you a totally different version of what you thought things are going to be. And that realization of almost like irreconcilability with reality is the source of the sadness. To make it simple, you're sad because things are going wrong, like wrong according to your own plan, your own vision. It doesn't happen as you wish. So there is this sadness coming from you haven't made peace of reality yet, okay? Versus the first one is physical hurt or a life lost, coming from the premature children death, that kind of sadness. So I guess both can tie eventually to emotional hurt, right? Either it's reality, you cannot accept that, or premature death, definitely that's one of the cruelest thing can happen to a parent. And that incur so much emotion, sadness in people. And but this borrowed that concept of premature death, and this switch in with this person side simply start from physical pain. So physical pain, this is emotional. Actually, I think the source of this emotional pain came from this cognitive dissonance of what you think things should be is different from reality. So instead of adjusting for yourself to kind of adapt to reality, you still hold this grudge against life. Therefore, life is a bitch, kind of English expression, is kind of this sentiment of you don't accept the reality. And that's the source of sadness. So now we can distinguish 伤 this physical pain, versus 悲, this emotional, cognitively caused emotional pain. Now we pair it with 春 and 秋. Okay, 春, we have this two upward turning concave shape with a vertical line stick in the middle. That's our plant symbol. I mean, it visually kind of represent a plant, right? Things are growing. And then we have the sun symbol. Of course, that's the source of energy. Things can only grow when there's sun in there. I don't know why the sun is below it. That's a mystery. It should be over it, right? That's a mystery. And then we have this structure. And this, we can view it as horizontal line as the soil. And you can see that this is growing on top of soil, right? That makes sense. And then this structure is kind of a bursting or breaking through of the plant trying to grow from underground to above the ground. So there was this visibility moment of plant finally break through the surface of soil from underground to above ground to meet the sun, right? That's a pathway to grow from a seed to a plant to visible to humans, but the plant's life already planted before it's visible to us. And that depicts the moment of things are growing from underground to above ground. And there was a sort of struggle over there, the birth of things. So this sentiment of things are growing and actually growing from below ground to above ground, and with the sun beaming on them from below. I don't know why there, but all these symbols combined together means things are growing, and that's the time of spring. Very logical, right? 秋. Okay, we have fire image on the left side, and this is a 和 image. So if we remove this tilted line like that, the rest of them means tree. It's a tree symbol in Chinese. How I view it is it's a tall plant. You know, this structure, this concave with a vertical line, looks just like that, right? Except that this is closer to the ground. So that's simply a generic ground, however high it grows. But this one with the arch at the bottom, this arch simply means a spacing, like a big space between the top of the plant to the ground. So that means it's a tree. It has a trunk away from the ground. So this tall structure with a high stalk, right? Now with this top portion, which stooping downward like that, probably that's simply signifying that things are ripening, the crops are, being ready for harvest. And so that 和 character with something bending on top of the top portion of the plant means it's ready to be harvested. It makes sense, right? When things are ripe, when you have fruit, grains especially, wheat or other type of economy plants, it makes sense when they're ripe, they're ready to be harvested, things are bending like that. So that's a representation of it's harvesting time and it's still hot as fire. So this hot probably, it could mean in fall season, things are still hot. Or it could mean after the plant was harvested, the farmland are going to be set on fire so that things burn out and the soil are ready for next year. I don't exactly know the farming practice, especially back then, what people do, but this fire symbol plus the crop symbol, both of them must be some common occurrence in the fall season. That's why these two are selected to represent the season of autumn. Okay, so now you have physically sad, spring, emotionally sad, autumn. 伤春悲秋. I translate it as all seasonal sorrow. So that's kind of a sentiment. So it's probably universal across languages, that in English as well as in Chinese, that poets, when they are expressing their emotional pain, right? And this seasonal look, like regardless of what season, they can always find reasons to be sad about, right? So there we go. 伤春悲秋. Cash into the currency of thinking about one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.